Hello, everyone. Hello. This is Manda Stack of mydivineintuition.com. I am an intuitive coach and energy clearing specialist, helping you get calm, clear, and connected so that you can hear and follow your own inner wisdom. I wanted to share today about two experiences I had within this past week that got me to thinking about resistance and where resistance shows up in our lives. So, the first experience was when I checked out a hotel nearby. I've been wanting to look at this hotel with the plans of eventually, when things are open up and we can gather in person again more easily, to have some gatherings, some retreats. And so I have some plans in the works for that. And I wanted to go check out the space of this hotel nearby. And so I finally called them and wanted to set up an appointment to come take a look at the space and see if it would be a good venue to host one of my upcoming retreats. So I was transferred to the person who would be my contact person for giving me a tour of the hotel. And right away, may have similar experiences. Right away, her response was more in resistance than what she could do to help me, or great, you're going to have an event, let's talk about it. It was more, well, I don't know, things aren't going well and we're booked. When do you want to have this event? And I said, well, I just want to come take a look at your space, and it's not for a while yet, but when things do open up, I'm excited to see if it's a possibility to have it at your hotel. And she said, all right, well, so I wanted to set up a time to come visit and have a tour. And she said, well, I'm not here on Mondays, Tuesdays, or Wednesday mornings. So instead of saying, great, I'm here on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays, what time are you available to come on in? So again, met with some resistance and just made a little mental note of that. Okay, that's interesting. However the venue presents, physically, and as well as the staff, what interactions with them are like. So I eventually found a time when she was going to be there on the site. So I set up an appointment with her. And when I got there for my tour, I introduced myself, and we were both wearing masks, of course, because here in Wisconsin right now, it's mandatory. Any public spaces, you need to be wearing a mask when you're in person. And so she barely even looked me in the eye, and she summoned me and got some keys and said, well, what do you want? What do you want to look at? And so she showed me the pool room, the swimming pool, which was closed, understandably, the meeting space that I really wanted to get a look at, where I might host my retreat. She said, well, the hotel isn't renting it out right now. It's, of course, they're not gathering in person for spaces right now. That's a hotel mandate at the moment, which I understand. And so I said, yeah, I just want to look at this space for future events. And so she showed me around, she showed me some of the sleeping rooms, and it looks like a nice space. And then as I was getting ready to leave, she handed me her card, her business card, and said, well, let me know when you want to get something booked. And then she started complaining about the mask that she was wearing. I said, gosh, I just can't breathe in this. I don't like this mask. I just can't wait for all of this to be over with. And so I said, thank you for showing me around. And I said goodbye. So what was interesting about that, and I'll share more, I'm going to share the second similar experience I had and what they had in common. Is anytime things like that show up for me, it's a mirror. Like, where is that type of resistance showing up in my own life? Where am I being resistant? And right away, I recognized that I was having those similar thoughts about wearing a mask. Like, it is not the most comfortable thing. It can be kind of hard to breathe in a mask. So she was showing me where some of my negative thoughts were. So that was an interesting experience. And not too long later, I went outside to mow my lawn, and lo and behold, my push mower apparently, the gas cap was missing. I don't know if I just forgot to put it back on the last time I mowed my lawn, but no gas cap. So I called the hardware store and asked them if they sold spare gas caps. And yes, they did. I would just need to bring in the make and model of the mower. And so I got that information, and I went to the hardware store, and I went to the service desk and told him, the man behind the counter, I said, I need a replacement gas cap for my Briggs & Stratton mower, engine mower. And right away, his shoulders slumped, and he's like, oh, I don't know. And so, so I thought, what, it's not possible to get a gas cap? He said, I don't know if there's a matching gas. I don't know if we can match that gas cap. It's kind of tricky. So he beckoned me to follow him to the display area where they had the extra gas replacement gas caps. And as I was following him, I was already in my head thinking, well, if I can't get it here, where am I going to get it? So my bubble was kind of burst already. But we went to look at what was available, and we found one. He said, well, yeah, I don't know if this is exactly what you need, but you might try this one. And so I looked at it. It looked about the right size, and I bought it. I took a chance, about $5, and got it home, and perfect fit. Beautiful. All right, success. And I was curious why, again, I was met with, instead of helpful, let's see what we can do to help you out here, I was met with some resistance. And whenever we meet with resistance, it's like this deflation of energy, like just kind of like, oh, your energy sinks. I feel it anyway. And this isn't a rant against customer service, although I'm sure we all have our stories, right? Anytime something like this shows up in the exterior, I've learned to ask myself, where is this going on in my own life? And especially if it happens more than once, if it's a pattern, I've learned that it's something to pay attention to. And so as I was out there mowing my lawn with my brand new replacement gas cap, I got the idea for this video. How many of you get ideas when you're doing repetitive things like mowing or gardening or, yeah. So I was thinking about improvisation, and the basic rule of improv is the concept of yes and. Yes and. Like, say there are two actors and they're creating something just spontaneously on the stage. And let's say one actor goes up to another actor and sets the scene and says, so I see you have an apple and a bow and arrow in your hand. Now, the other actor, using the yes and concept, would go with that. Yes, I have a bow and arrow and an apple in my hand. And then he would build on that, or she would build on it. Yes, I do have these items, even if they didn't have anything in there, any props. And they would say, yes, why don't you step up against that tree and I'll show you why. So yes and is a way to accept and build on creatively what shows up and be playful about it. So I love that concept of yes and for our everyday lives, because interruptions and challenges tend to be the norm, right? Before I even got on this video, I was having trouble getting my video camera to work. And so I was putting into practice, well, then rather than defaulting to my slumping my own shoulders and gosh, here's another technical challenge to deal with, and then spiraling downwards. And I decided to play with the yes and energy. Well, okay, it's not working. Let's see what's going on. And so I did some troubleshooting and found a way around it. So here I am on camera sharing my experiences and story. Yes and. So I wanted to invite you to consider, where in your life are you feeling resistance? Where, when something shows up, what is your immediate response? Is it, oh no, here's another challenge, or how are we going to make this work? Or do you have a yes and attitude? All right, so it's a tech glitch that has shown up. Or all right, here's an interruption to my day. Yes and is a powerful way to reset your energy and flow with whatever shows up. Because when we are in resistance, it is a heavy energy that builds upon itself. And then it's hard to get out of that. Anytime you're tired, that can be a signal that you're in some sort of resistance. So I offer this today, yes and invite you and me maybe to just take a day and experiment. Just experiment with that. Everything that shows up in your life, meet with a yes and attitude. Let's see how it goes. Again, I'm Manda Stack, mydivineintuition.com, and I have a strategy session if you would like some help getting clear on where you are in resistance or where you could be more open and playful with the yes and in your life and move forward. And I have what's called the Heart and Soul Strategy Session. If you're at a crossroads in your life or looking for some clarity on a decision or just need some support, I would love to be there for you and invite you. I'll put the link in the comments to my Heart and Soul Strategy Session. If this resonates with you or calls to you in any way, please check it out. Or feel free to reach out to me, message me, make comment, share your comments about where resistance has been showing up for you, either externally, if you've had some customer experience challenges, or internally, where you are feeling in resistance to what's showing up. So that is my message for today. Yes, and have a great day.